One of the things I love most about going through perimenopause is starting to prioritize. And I suppose initially it comes from a place of survival, starting to exhibit and experience the symptoms of perimenopause, the brain fog, the anxiety, depression, that almost constant state of overwhelm, which was where I got to when I went through depression. I found that coming out the other side, I could not do the things and take on the responsibility, the load, emotional load, organizational load. I simply couldn't do it anymore. But this is where I asked for more help from my husband, which he would have always been happy to do, but he knew I prided myself on being independent and Wonder Woman, and I can do everything on my own. I don't need anybody else. I'm amazing. Because that was the expectation I had set for myself. So I allowed that situation to happen in our relationship. As soon as he realized that I was not able to manage the load anymore, he stepped up. And he's amazing. It's, if I'd have asked sooner, then maybe I wouldn't have got into a depressed state, but who knows, that was my journey. But that's what perimenopause really gives you, that kick. It is honestly like a kick in the ass, a slap in the face, a big wake-up call. Because you're struggling, you have to get rid of the shit that isn't working for you anymore. I need to focus on this, which means I can't focus on this. And that can be really challenging, especially if you've got younger children. I was quite fortunate that when I started going through perimenopause, my children were a little bit older, around 10-ish. So they weren't so dependent on me. And obviously that would be much harder if you have much younger children, if you might have just had a baby not that long ago. But prioritizing becomes so important, and that's prioritizing your self-care. Put your own mask on before anybody else's, look after yourself. And that's not being selfish. It's not caring about other people's needs. But what we do for most of our lives as women is put everybody else's needs before our own, which gets us into a pretty sorry state later on in life, especially once perimenopause kicks in and the hormones create havoc in our mind and bodies. So put your self-care first. If you are not feeling in a good place in that moment and you're having to run around doing all these other things, are they actually urgent? Do they really need doing? Is there somebody else that could do them? It's okay to admit you're not okay. I think we hate doing that as women. I know I definitely did. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to get down. You are going to have days where you feel like shit. But it's okay to allow that instead of thinking, I shouldn't be feeling like this. I need to get on. But you know what? Sometimes all you need is to change that. Say, no, I'm not doing that. I feel like crap. I need to take some time out for me. Whether that be going for a walk, going to the gym, putting some music on. It might be sleeping if you're struggling with that. It's okay to do that. And the more we do it, the more everyone else will get used to it. I think the problem is that sometimes when we start saying no or putting our own needs first, because we haven't done that for such a long time, everyone goes a bit like, ooh, what's up with you? That's a bit selfish. But they're not used to you doing it. So practice. What a great thing to do. Practice. It's going to make everybody's life much better in the long run. Practice putting yourself first, and everyone who loves you and that is around you will start recognizing the benefits of it. You are going to show up feeling much better within yourself if you have taken that time for yourself. You start prioritizing what relationships are working for you. And there is a lot of divorce happens around 40s, 50s, probably in part to perimenopause and menopause, because we start thinking, actually, this relationship isn't working for us anymore. And I'm so blessed that I've got a partner who helps me be the person that I want to be and supports me and steps up. But not everybody has that. And you know, sometimes we ask for it and we don't get it, and they're not willing to give it to us. And that's where that prioritizing comes in. If they have no interest in supporting you or adapting with your transformation, then maybe they are not the right person to have in your life. And that might be romantic relationships, it could be friendships, you know, other family members as well. So that is quite common for women to go through divorces or relationship issues as they come into perimenopause, because they start reassessing what's working, what isn't. Work, career quite often might change at this point. I know that's definitely been a huge one for myself, is really wanting to do something that nurtures my soul. I want to work in a space where I can be myself, but I also want to work within a space where I can fulfill my own purpose, which is to help other women going through what I know I went through without a huge amount of support outside of my family. And this is why I've changed careers. You know, I've gone from very corporate or school teaching to working in the health and well-being industry, because it fills my cup. It brings me so much joy and happiness to help others. But again, that's that prioritizing. Are you prioritizing working a 9-to-5? And for some people, they love that. But for others, that's not fulfilling what they need within themselves. You know, it could be the opposite way around, moving into an office, having that security, that routine, after maybe running their own business for a long time and having that instability. So it's just prioritizing, where am I now? It doesn't matter where I was 5 years ago or even 1 year ago. Where am I now? And prioritizing what it is that you need to support you living a more fulfilled life. So I don't know, if that's not an exciting thing to go through, even with all of the other symptoms, I don't know what else would be more exciting than that, really. It's transformational, and you know, it's empowering.